Okay, so let's do some prayer requests for the week. Um, so if you want, you can kind of write these down, maybe do one a day, or maybe, kind of pass through them just for a couple minutes. But you definitely need at least like 15 minutes of prayer each day. You need to pray for your protection. You need to pray to have a good day. I used to have awful days at work, and finally I was just so over it. I started praying every single day for good days. And I kid you not, my days got like 8 times better. Like the amount of horribleness went down to 10%, and it was if like I got 8 doses of good day, and now my days at work are wonderful. But man, I'm terrified. Like I pray every day. I pray every single day. I'm like, I pray that the loving and good people are kept near me, and the discouraged and what word do I use? Discouraged and I don't remember the other word, are kept away. Disheartened, I think is the word I use. Because I was just I was breaking at work. Oh my God, but now it's good. So the first thing I want you to do is like pray for your vanities. If you've been craving like a steak, pray that you get like a steak dinner. If you maybe want to take a good drive or spend time with someone you love, I'll pray for my friendships. If there's anyone in your life that maybe you pine for, right, that you wish was closer to you, or that you had a closer relationship and it's just not happening, you can pray that they have a great life. I have several friends like that, and I'll start praying that they get married or find relationships, and they get married and find relationships, and it's really rewarding that if I can't be as close with someone as I desire, that I know I can still cover them supernaturally, and I can still help them get closer to God, where they have protection, teachings of wisdom. They're taught, the way of the spiritual warrior, how to fend for themselves. Okay, so if you want to critique, pray for what you can improve. I did that one time, and I was really worried because my mom was kind of brutal about like this and that and this and that. So I said, okay, God, give me a critique. I need a critique. And he says, you could spend less time on YouTube. And I was watching like 3 hours of YouTube a day. I was kind of in a dark place, and I would just scroll, kind of like hoping for some hope. And eventually I worked my way out of a dark place. It was just depressing, just God trying to get more out of me. But he said, you could watch less YouTube. And I thought, wow, that was so not judgmental. That was so, and he was really generous and honest too. I felt his generosity of wealth of knowledge and situational observation, as well as benevolently beloved criticism. So I was like, well, okay, I can. And I started working towards watching less YouTube. Eventually I figured out that what I was looking for was kind of my own content. I had a drive to make YouTube content, and then that would fulfill my need for YouTube content, which I hadn't thought about. So pray for what you can improve. Good friends, protection. You need to be praying for spiritual protection every day, because demons will get to you. I had one that was kind of pretending to be my face, so I thought it was my voice when it wasn't, and that was educational. I know not everyone here likes Trump, but all the prophets are calling Trump are calling Trump God's David. Like God is saying, my David. He used to say my Cyrus. So Cyrus in the Bible is someone who did the Lord's work that didn't believe in God. So being Cyrus was interesting, because someone comes up and says, hey, there's a prophecy about you. And he's like, oh, okay. And then David was basically one of God's favorite people in all of human history. Like David was the inspiration for Christ, which is a long story short. So Trump is a God-fearing man now. He has the gift of discernment and prophecy now. I don't know if he's using them, but they're his. So we want to pray for his protection, especially since they just tried to kill him, and now they're trying to remove his Secret Service protection. So pray for him. And if you don't like Trump, you can still pray for the country. Like you can still pray for him and pray for the country. What you really should be doing is praying that God's will be done. That's what we're here to do, because God's will just benefits all of us. And if you don't like what God's doing, but like tell him, say like, I don't like, when God and I were working together to kind of start this ministry, because it's kind of starting to go full bore now, like we're starting to build up inertia and momentum. But in the weeks leading up to it, he would say like, I think I need to be in the front. And I would say, well, my ministry is all about not becoming a Christian, but becoming a child of God, because that's what we originally are. God made Adam and Eve in his image. So what God is saying is he made children. And so I want to get back to the roots of using God as the example for mankind in doing brilliant creative stuff, following our dreams, making machinations like machinery and stuff, systems that support mankind. We can work together, have peace, achieve our dreams of poetry and music and art and paintings and race cars and good food and good movies and good books. So I'm talking to God about this, and he goes, well, I should be the center of attention. And I said, yeah, but I have to prove it's possible. I can't just point at you. Everyone points at you. I have to be able to help people pull the rocks out of their heart and the cloggings out of their heart. And when you possess them, when you possess us by giving us the Holy Spirit, how to use that and work with that and tune out the damage and rewire our heartaches. And God, God really wants to be, especially Jesus, who is also God, wants to be the center of attention, and he rightfully deserves it. But I won't give something up unless he explains himself. And God isn't angry when I stand my ground, because if God said move, I would ultimately move. But until he's like, obey me, him and I are going to have a dialogue. And so finally, like, we're going back and forth and we're going back and forth and we're going back and forth, I don't do this under tension. I'm like, well, then make it work, man. And while we're doing this, I say, hey, by the way, there's been always this like shadow over the left side of my face. What is that? Like, I have to know now before I start my ministry. And he goes, oh, that's your gift of mystery. I'm like, ooh, I like that. And then I always liked the eyes in Naruto, the Sharingan, the Byakugan, the Rinnegan. And so I always kind of pray about visualizing my supernatural authority in such a manner that it has that kind of cool charisma. And I'm like, you know what? Give me your eyes. I want your eyes. And so we're building that spiritual playfulness. And I go, okay, what do I look like? And I see this vision of like, kind of like a mask is being pulled back, like, and behind the mask, like a superhero mask, I see the face of Jesus shrouded in mystery. And I'm like, are you my secret superpower? And Jesus is like, yeah. All right, bet. So it's both of us on stage. I mean, you're the most important one, but I'm there. So they see both of us. Yeah. Okay, I'm on board. That works for me. The supernatural, if you're kind of an older adult, the reason superheroes are so important right now is they're speaking to the children. So the adults are going to understand that I'm working really hard, and the children will understand that there's something to be had here, that we can finally, for the first time in history, be superheroes. Anyways, pray for the West Coast. It's really weird over there. Parents can sometimes be evil. The government eventually always turns evil. So we either have to choose, do you want the government in control or parents in control? I like parents in control because it's easy to move them out of control, whereas the government, it's hard to move out of control once you give control. In Oregon, the schools can like put your kids on, I don't know if this is all Oregon, but I know some places, like antidepressants without telling the parents. And then in California, if your kid starts wanting to change their gender and pronouns, the schools are told not to tell the parents. And I like parents knowing eventually someone has to watch after their kids, and I'm going to trust, and I want it to be the parents over the government. We can work with parents and work towards a better world. The government is a bad nanny. I think is the best way to put it. So, and it's hard to take away power from the government once you give it to the government. So those are some good things to pray for. If you are in poverty or a gang, pray that God shows you ways to get out of poverty. Tithing, where you give the first 10% of your paycheck, has worked wonders. I don't want to say it always works, but I'll tell you, I've never seen it fail. I had a friend of my girlfriend who was $2,000 in debt, making $7 an hour, and my girlfriend says, "Hey, go talk to Josh." She's like, what is Josh gonna do? Oh, he knows Christian magic. What? Just go talk to Josh. So she comes to me. Why is your girlfriend saying, come talk to me? And I go, oh, you need a tithe. And she goes, I don't have the money to tithe. And I said, well, then you have to tithe. And you have to lock on that you're gonna do it, no matter what. Otherwise, it'll be wishy-washy, just like you're wishy-washy. Okay, what do I gotta lose? 2 weeks later, she has a brand new car. She has a new job where she's making twice as much money and on the road to being a manager. Same thing with me. I was really worried. My roommate's like, you tithe, right? I'm like, yeah, but I'm so worried. I don't have a job. I need to have a job like tomorrow. He's like, you'll be okay. And I'm like, I know I'll be okay, but it's like, where's my job? And then halfway through the day, right? I have to have a job tomorrow. Halfway through the day, I hear God go, what's one thing you've always wanted to do? And I thought, I don't know, like be a bartender or something. Okay. My friend who was standing right next to me goes, hey, by the way, my friend is hiring for his bar. I'm like, oh, that was fast. And I ended up being a bouncer, which was a really easy job. I think I made $15 an hour just checking IDs. But prayer is spiritual magic, except it's spiritual miraculous, except it's spiritual oomph. If you want to change your life, if you want to protect yourself, if you want to remove your anxiety, if you want to heal, keep praying. If there's nothing going on, you're at a boring, stupid job, pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. If I can teach you anything in life, it's prayer equals the power to move reality. What was I just going to say? Oh yeah, so for example, this is a really good one. Everyone, I feel, knew what they wanted in life. They knew just everything about what they wanted in life. And I have never had that. And I was very upset. I was working, I was tired, I think I was 40, and I just didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Nothing called for me. I liked doing everything. And finally, I just lost it. I got really mad at God, and I was like, God, everyone knows what they want to do except me. What the heck? And when I pray, I look for God to tell me something I don't know. That kind of ensures it's not my imagination, that it is indeed God. And he goes, okay, what do you want to do? Tell me everything. And he was being really nice and gentle, so I calmed down a little bit. I go, I want to be able to travel and work wherever I want. I want to be able to work whenever I want. Like if I want to work 40 hours in 3 days, or 100 hours in 1 week and take 2 weeks off. I want to be paid just to socialize. I want to get paid more money if I socialize well. I don't want $1 for hours. I hate dollars for hours. You make this amount of money per hour's worked. If I'm really great, give me more money. If I'm really bad, give me less. And I just wanted to be social and talking, but that can also lead to other opportunities. And I'm just like, what is wrong with me? Like, where is this even possible? And he goes, well, it sounds to me, and then he pauses. I'm like, yes, sir. You have my undivided attention. Like, you want to run your own podcast. I was like, I never thought I'd hear God use the word podcast before. That's awesome. That is so me. And then a few years later, here we are now. Anyways, I love you guys. Pray for stuff. Get in practice. Pray for stuff. You want cute friends for your kids? Pray for that. You want good boys for your daughter to date, pray for that. You want your kids to have focus for their dream that also makes them money, pray for that. If your husband or wife is annoying you, pray that you guys get along. You're really nervous. When I'm running a photo shoot, I pray that the models have a great day. And I would pray that a lot because I'd be really nervous they wouldn't. You guys are great.